All right, welcome into Unnecessary Rough. Words are tough. Welcome into Unnecessary Roughness's live Monday night stream. We're talking college football live on a Monday night because that's when you do your live Monday night stream. Casey's over there, freshly washed hair. Katie's down there in some sort of wine cellar. Jack is in that looks bombed out and depleted, but I guess it's at the Barstool place, right?
Yep. This is the Barstool office. I'm in one of the studios.
Jack has a nice flow going on tonight with the hair as well.
I washed my hair this morning, so that's what it is.
Yeah,
you look great, and I was not the one who was late today. I was a little late. Never mind. Anyway, Unnecessary Roughness. This stream is brought to you by
the good folks at High Noon Hard Seltzer. You guys are watching this or listening to this, whether you're live or listening to it after the fact. You know we love High Noon. Go to highnoonspirits.com. I officially believe it's hoodie weather. I know like in other places of the country, it might not be yet, but Jack, Katie, you know that when it gets to be hoodie weather, it's like the best feeling in the world because you get to be all comfy, but there's still nothing better than a High Noon because High Noon is not just a summer drink. It's an all year drink. And the commercials that they have where they're like at ski lodges and they're in hot tubs drinking it, like that's not just for the advertising. That's real. Because when we go on the road for college football shows and it's snowing out, it's freezing, like way past hoodie weather, people are still drinking High Noon because it's that delicious.
Yes. I mean, High Noon is the best. It's the best on Mondays. It's the best on Tuesdays, every day of the week, Saturdays, Sundays, every day that ends in a Y, it's the best. And we love High Noon. They've been with us for a while now. Almost, I think this is probably our 4th season with High Noon. So we love you, High Noon. Visit highnoonspirits.com for your next tailgate to find a pack near you.
Yes. Brandon?
The game day pack.
The game day pack, yes. The game day pack. I don't know where he went, so I'm gonna just keep saying go buy the game day pack.
Brandon, such high demand. Ooh.
Go buy everything. All right. So it is Unnecessary Roughness live Monday night stream. We're talking college football. That means we have you, chat. So Bobby Cunningham, I can see you. Scott Day, I can see you. Mike, I can see you. Stephen Baldwin, Shoot'em. Ian Nickel, Riley Petrando, Diego D. Leighton Lockett. So everybody who's
stream, chat.
Everybody who's there, we will in fact be reading your chat and interacting with your chat in just a minute. I have 5 takes that I have to get off so that we can go forward. All right.
Can we also do a nice thank you to everybody who was live with us on Saturday? It did so well, and people were up with us until 2:30 in the morning watching that game. So thank you for hanging out with us.
Why don't you thank the people who are hanging out with us right now?
Well, they're probably doubling up, but people are going to listen to this after the fact. So
why don't you thank them right now, Casey? Don't just
everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for being here right now.
Thank you for hanging out with us on this Monday stream.
All right. Why do you look so relaxed today?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm drinking pumpkin spice tea for the first of the season.
Oh, basic white bitch has showed up. Okay. Anyway, here we go. So, number 1, the internet has got a chill about this Colorado State player that hit Travis Hunter the other night. Travis Hunter is now out 3 weeks with a lacerated liver, and that is an unfortunate injury, and nobody wants to see that. The hit was late. It was egregiously late. It wasn't a proper hit. It deserved to be penalized 15 yards, and that's that. When you have a late hit in football and you have something called unnecessary roughness, you get penalized 15 yards, and you move on with your life. The internet has found this guy's home address. They found his parents. They're threatening him with death. Like, he decided early in that game he was going to send a message. He was going to hit Travis Hunter really hard no matter what. Again, cost his team 15 yards. But this was a football play. It was a football play that happens in a lot of games. There are late hits all the time. There are unnecessary roughness penalties all the time. These things happen between the white lines. Are they ugly? Sure. Does he deserve to be called out for it 3 days later? Does he deserve to have his life turned upside down? Henry Blackburn is his name. No, 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 and no. That's my take about that.
Yeah, no, this is just the epitome of the internet doing entirely too much. And I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of the internet doing things like this. Brandon, obviously, your hatred for Iowa stems from something like this, where you give a football take and then they find out where your wife works and everything like that. So this is another example of that. It's tough because he obviously didn't mean to send Travis Hunter to the hospital. I don't believe that. I don't know the kid personally. I can't speak on his intent. However, his intent did look malicious. It did look like he was trying to hurt. Now, should anything happen after the fact? No, but he should have been probably ejected from that game.
You know what? There's a lot of malicious intent in this sport.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of it.
Everything that's happening now is absolutely, it's unacceptable. Like, especially dragging family into it, getting the addresses, none of that is acceptable at all. I still do think that they should have probably ejected him for that, but that's a way smaller conversation than what we're talking about now.
All right, I have a second take to fold into that first take. A lot of the hate, and I don't think he gets a whole lot of hate, but a lot of the hate Deion Sanders and Colorado have received recently is not really a reflection of them. It's not from their action. It's not from them. I believe what Deion has brought to the sport is a lot of casual fans dropping in and supporting Deion and saying things online and saying things like Henry Blackburn should be, his scholarship should be revoked and stuff like that. Like, I feel like there's new eyeballs watching college football who have never cared about college football before that are getting some drawback on Deion because of the things they're saying. I don't know if that's wild, Jack.
Yeah, no. This is insane person behavior. That being said, we are college football fans. There's been insane person behavior for a while.
Yeah.
This is definitely it's a very slippery slope. There's people suggesting, oh, he should be out as long as Travis Hunter's out. Okay, so you want to do that for every hit?
Yeah, I can't.
You like, where does it end? I think he did. He was trying to send a message. He probably didn't want to send the kid to the hospital. It's like he should have, in my book, been ejected. We see guys ejected all the time on Saturdays. But going to the length that these people have gone is insane. And I think most rational people outside of maybe the 5% of just crazies would agree with that.
It's disgusting. Disgusting behavior.
Also it would have, yeah, it's just, and also it was on a top tier Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah.
Did y'all see Brian Ferentz today? Or maybe it wasn't today. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. I just saw it today. I just saw it on Twitter like an hour ago, and it's one of my favorite things that's happened in a while. Obviously, Iowa offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz has been the subject of a lot of memes over the years, a lot of jokes and stuff because they can't really score. They scored 41 the other day when they beat that team that they beat. Anyway, so they're averaging over 25 points a game. We know that he has to average 25 points a game to keep his job. And he was asked about that. And he kind of went off on the media there in Iowa City. And he was like, you know what? You guys are the only ones that are obsessing about this 25-point thing. If I'm not mistaken, we scored 41 the other day. So I want you all to get out your step ladders and crawl out of my ass.
I got bad news.
Yeah, Brandon.
That not him?
No,
that was deep fake, Brandon.
That's
God
fake.
damn it! God damn it! How was it a deep fake?
It was.
It's a deep fake.
I saw because I saw it.
They got me.
He quote tweeted it with deep fake.
Damn,
I
they
didn't
got me.
realize it otherwise.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I want that to be real, and I would like to pretend it was real.
That's okay.
He was thinking that. He definitely didn't say it. He's thinking that.
He's thinking that. Like he wrote it.
It's okay. You're old. It happens.
You know what?
I would have gotten duped too if I hadn't seen the first time.
God, it was good.
It's good.
The
You know
people,
what? I'm fine with
people
that.
are, but here's the bigger problem,
I
Brandon.
want more deep fakes like that.
The people are gonna figure out how to do it even more flawlessly, and we're about to just see utter chaos because we're not gonna know what's real and what's not.
So it was AI or was somebody acting like him?
It was AI. It was a deep fake.
Oh,
this goes to show
this is going to ruin my career. The next 10 years are going to ruin my career. I'm going to react to everything.
It was actually made by a former Barstool employee.
Really?
Who?
Yeah, Hawkeye. FX Hawkeye, I think it was. It was a very good. I thought it was relatively real too, but then I just clicked on the tweet and read it. And
I was just
right. Y'all should have let me continue like it was real.
Well, we also couldn't let the fact that the three of us knew it was a deep fake. We couldn't let that keep going. I actually saw the comments about it being a deep fake before I actually saw the video. And I agree with Katie. I probably would have thought it was real too, had I not already seen.
I wanted it to be real. All right, Brian Ferentz, if you're out there, quit being a pussy and say that stuff, okay? Quit being a pussy. I thought it was weird when he's like, "Oh, in case you didn't see, we scored 41 the other day." That part was weird to me. The stepladder in the ass was good. Okay, did Alabama actually name Jalen Milroe the starter, or was that a fake too?
That's real.
I have a take.
That is real.
I have a take about Alabama. I think their demise is being greatly exaggerated, and I think there's several teams across the country this week that are walking into absolute buzzsaw traps this weekend. I think Ole Miss might be one of them. Jack, do you have any idea who I think the other one might be?
No. Who?
I think Florida State might be walking into a fucking hornet's nest.
The line.
Like Alabama, we'll talk about Alabama in a minute, but Florida State got off to that, beat LSU, and it looked so good. And obviously they look forward against Boston College. But Clemson, ever since Duke embarrassed them, just been plugging along, scored 66, and then they killed somebody the other day. Like, they have had nothing to do but hear about that Duke game for 3 weeks, and now they get the opportunity of a lifetime in their house against a team that thinks they passed them. Boy, I'm going to have a hard time not betting Clemson this week.
Yeah, no, that's one of those games that you remember that they still are coached by a guy like Dabo. However you feel about Dabo's like antics, like on and off the field, is one thing, but like the guy knows how to win. And so I agree with you there. I think Florida State's going to win, although it is only Monday. Let's see how I feel by the time we talk about it on the college football show moving forward. But that's why when I talk about the ACC, like, yes, Clemson lost to Duke, but I wasn't ready to bury Clemson. Like, we don't know what Cade Klubnik's going to look like with all these extra weeks of practice. We don't know what Dabo is going to have changed up, what he's going to have adjusted. But also, I think Florida State's probably hearing a lot about how bad they looked against Boston College, too.
Yeah, no, they are. And Florida State's very, very good. And I'm sure they were looking forward. I mean, you can't blame them. The weather was bad, too. So back to Ole Miss and Alabama. Ole Miss is a very good team. I think they're probably top 15, top 20 team in the country. So this isn't a shot at them. But Alabama is absolutely being told how shitty they are. They're being told how garbage they've been. They're being told they don't have a quarterback. They don't have this. They don't have that. Now, Jalen Milroe played a lot better in week against Texas than anybody played down in South Florida. And they're at home, and it's time to get serious and open SEC play. I really believe Alabama is sitting – I think Alabama is a trap for Ole Miss this weekend. That's what I believe.
So here's a question for you because – and I'm like legitimately asking this, not even trying to argue one point or the other, but – wouldn't you think, at least the way I would look at it, is like Nick Saban probably heard how done they were after they lost to Texas by 10. And yes, Texas is a very good team. Like, why would then they go and just try to sleepwalk through South Florida?
Can I stop you real quick? Katie, are you answering questions on whether you're wearing pants or not in the chat?
No, I'm not talking about that. It was more Casey. There's other conversations.
Oh, Casey, are you wearing pants?
I am. Yes. I've learned my lesson.
I'm keeping the chat entertained. I'm not talking about
I'm wearing pants in the office.
Katie always has to answer the questions for me. But I mean, yes, I am. Because when I want to give a standing ovation, family-friendly show.
Well, I'm not going to stand. My nuts are out. So,
you know what you can do
Katie's
without
face
pants
is what
on?
the entire chat just did.
You know what you
Katie's
can
face
do
was.
without pants on?
Well, I one of 3 options here, and I'm wondering which one you're going with.
Let me tell you, you could get your HelloFresh and cook it without your pants on. There is no rule.
Listen, HelloFresh is wonderful. I wouldn't recommend cooking without pants on.
Hey, I mean, that's up to, hey, I'm never going to tell a person what to do.
This is
in
America.
The cooking sense. If you want to cook without your pants on, do it. But just do it with HelloFresh.
HelloFresh is the #1 meal service kit in this country. What they do is they send you a box. The box gets to your house. You open the box. There's freshly packed ingredients. It's all organized into recipes. You take a recipe card, you look at it, and in 30 minutes or less, you have a delicious, incredible meal just for you. It's really one of the best meal service. Well, it is. To me, it's the best meal service kit in the country. I love it. I know Casey gets it all the time.
Yes, I do. And going along with the duping topic of the day, you can dupe people a lot with it because, I'm not saying you should.
Let's move on from the duping.
Okay, well, I'm not saying you should lie to people. However, if you want to dupe them into thinking that you are a top tier chef, HelloFresh really is such a great way to do that because it comes with the instruction card. You can be the biggest moron on the planet and you're going to make a really, really good meal. And you get to pick the menu too. So you don't just get sent whatever they want to send you. You can do that as well, but you can cook for your whole family. Brandon has 1 million children. He can use HelloFresh for him. If you're a single person, you can get multiple servings and use leftovers. It's really for everybody.
HelloFresh is for everybody.
Also go to HelloFresh.com. Use code 50Walker. Use code 50Walker. You get 50% off plus 15% the next 2 months. Again, go to HelloFresh.com. Use code 50Walker. Use that code for 50% off and 15% off the next 2 months. Okay.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. It really is. Mel Tucker is officially fired. I don't really know that this needs a news bulletin because we all knew he was going to be fired. They were just trying to take care of their legal ramifications. And I don't know how much I should say or should speculate here. I just wonder if there's more. Like the things that got him fired, and we know about the sexual harassment in the phone. I wonder if they looked into it and they found more. That's just me wondering if that is the case. That's not me saying that's the case. I wonder what all is there for Mel Tucker, who's no longer the coach. And if that's an irresponsible wondering, fine. It's just a wondering. I didn't accuse anybody of anything.
Yeah, it's tough to really say exactly what's going on here outside of the fact that we know what we know. He's fired.
Yeah.
He's going to take them to court because he got fired for cause. This happens a decent amount. UConn tried to fire Kevin Ollie in basketball for cause. They ended up having to pay. Northwestern. There's going to be some very big court cases surrounding 2 Big Ten teams. And yeah, I guess we'll learn more. And I'm sure Mel's number one thing he wants to do right now is get that money and also clear his name if he feels he is innocent. Now, that's something we'll have to find out, you know?
I think he has to go after the money even if he feels he's guilty. Like, that's a lot of money. I'm going to keep trying for it.
It's a lot of money. I think it was Nicole Arbach or somebody on Twitter that like pointed out like the main thing is with what we know, not what we don't know or what we can speculate on. But, you know, even if it was consensual, which, you know, she's alleging that it's not, it's like she was hired to do the exact opposite of what he apparently did. And like, that's just like in just bad judgment, not holding yourself to, you know, whatever, you know, moral high ground the university wanted him to. So in general, just a bad decision that the university can say, hey, like you're not being a Michigan State person here. We got to let you go. Yeah. So it's very interesting in the fact that just from a football sense, 2 years ago, he looked like the most secure coach in the country. And then last year he started losing. This year he was going to lose. And now he's gone. And somebody's going to get the program, whether they go after a Mike Elko, whether they go after a Chris Kleiman, 2 names I've seen in the chat already. Whoever they go after is going to be inheriting a nasty situation. Like, I don't know how much the players are on board with Mel Tucker getting fired. So, Michigan State's a top 25 job in this country. So they've proven they will pay a ton of money for a guy that doesn't necessarily say I deserve $95 million. Like, I mean, they've proven that with this Mel Tucker situation. Like, they will hand somebody a bag. So
I'll tell you what, though, 2 years ago, if you asked me if he was worth $95 million, I think I'd have been like, yeah, like he
really?
He went 11, maybe not 95. Well, you remember 2 years ago.
Oh, no, for sure. He was worth a lot of money, but I feel like even when that contract came out, it was like $95 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money.
They went 11-2. They beat Michigan. Like, they were right there in the mix for everything.
JR Real says Urban Meyer if they're desperate enough. Imagine.
I don't know how desperate you got to be to hire Urban Meyer. I think anybody. I don't think that's desperate. I think that's smart. I'd love to hire Urban Meyer.
I mean, Urban Meyer's a scumbag, but he knows how to win football games. So
who do you think they should go get? Obviously, Kleinman, Elko.
I mean, listen, Elko is going to be probably the hottest name out there. Elko is at Duke, and he looks good there. And I think teams are going to fall all over themselves to try to rush and try to get him.
I would like Mike Elko back in College Station, please.
Can I say something just in front of God and everybody? I just want to tell y'all. I don't know what this season holds for Mississippi State. All I know is I did send a DM to Dan Mullen. Listen, hey.
You slid in Dan Mullen's DMs?
Hey, okay, relax. I don't know where it's going. I just wanted to see if he was up. That's all.
Just you up.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure he was okay. Now, whether we talk and whether, I don't know. Whenever you break up, right? You never know when the right time is to get back together. Was it you? Was it them? Was it just the timing not right? What was it? So,
but do you think that Dan Mullen?
We're going to talk.
Do you think that Dan Mullen though feels that the breakup was probably like he got wronged pretty badly at some point?
No, not from us. He left us.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, he left
He
us.
left to go to Florida.
He went with that ugly bitch in the jean shorts, okay? That didn't treat him right, okay? They didn't know how to treat him, all right? Trashy ass jean short wearing Walmart shopping motherfuckers.
He's not coming back, Brandon. I'm sorry to tell you.
He might. What do you know? What do you know? By the way,
Not very much.
I did invite him to come on the show, so we might have to. We're gonna have him on soon. Anyway, I don't know. I was tired. It was late. I just.
Katie, are you muted?
No.
Okay.
I was waiting. It's a good thing. Dan will be great guest. But there's a video of Billy Napier after the Tennessee game. Just like it's 11:15. He's still in the field recruiting, and all of the comments were just ricochet shots.
Okay, all right. Let me say something. Florida fans, I get it. You beat number 11 Tennessee. This overreaction. You guys beat Utah last year too, and then your ass went 6-6. I think there's still a chance to go 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. Like, I don't think you're back because you beat Tennessee. Tennessee just wasn't very good the other night. Tennessee's a terrible matchup. They're pussies up front, and you guys are not pussies. So you out muscled them. I don't think you can do that to teams like Missouri, and I think you play LSU and Arkansas. Like, you're not going to out muscle them the way Tennessee laid down like bitches for you. Okay. All right, where are we at? What are my other takes here?
I just want to know when he answers you.
I mean, he might have already answered me. It's not that big of a deal.
He has not. That's what you would have said.
It's not that big of a deal.
You would have said.
I messaged DJ after DJ Uegalele, Ungalala, whatever, however you pronounce it. I messaged him after the Clemson loss to Duke. I just sent him the thinking emoji, and I was like, maybe you weren't the issue. He hasn't responded.
Didn't see it.
But he follows me on Twitter still. So also,
all right, new rule: we all have to DM somebody after Saturday night games.
I know my next one. Shiloh still follows me on Instagram, which is huge for me, considering I've been labeled as someone who hates Colorado, even though I don't.
I have too, even though I just said let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Well, anything negative about them right now, you're going to be labeled as.
That's not.
Wait, you're not even just labeled as you hate Colorado. You're labeled as something else.
Here's the thing: I've never. All I ever said was, give him year one. He's going to be good in year two. They're going to win 6 games this year, and that's great. Maybe 7, but year two, he's going to go get some big defensive linemen, some big offensive linemen. And they're going to be in the national title hunt. But year one, they're not going to be. That's all I ever said.
Here's a question. What % chance do you give Dion for being at Colorado next year?
Next year?
100. I think
100. I would say 85.
Who would Texas A&M would go after him?
No.
Who knows who would go after him?
No.
Who knows? I don't know.
I don't think you leave Colorado for Michigan State. That would never happen.
No, I don't think it would. I'm saying everyone will try.
Who did Katie say?
Michigan State. Michigan State will ask.
I'll be honest. That's a decent point by Katie. Michigan State. That would be a 4 times increase pay for Dion.
It'll also depend on if Shooter is going to go to the NFL or not.
He doesn't like cold weather.
But he's in Colorado.
Yeah, but he said colder. But yeah, it's not as cold. Brandon talked to him about that on the Pro Football Show at one point last year. He was like, "No, Colorado's not like cold."
Yeah, I'm sure Dion never lied to you guys on the Pro Football Show. I'm sure he told nothing but the truth and all the truth.
Can anybody give me credit for the joke I just said?
What?
I said no coach would ever leave Colorado to go to Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Very true. Never.
Okay, there we go. All right, is it time to get everybody? Yeah, let's turn to the chat. Let's start getting the chat.
Before we go to the chat.
Well, we got to talk about, should I talk about vehicles or should I talk about something else?
You should talk about something else. We'll talk about vehicles later.
I know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how annoying it is when you have subscriptions to things that you forget that you've subscribed to and you're paying like monthly fees. And it might just be just enough money where you don't notice it, but that adds up month after month. Rocket Money can do it for you. And I got excited. We tell the story every time that we talk about Rocket Money. When they text in the group text like, hey, we have a new sponsor, it's Rocket. I was like, oh my God, I use Rocket. I love it because not only does it show you what you're spending every month, how much you're making. It also can cancel subscriptions for you. It can show you what you need to budget, what you don't need to budget, shows you your net worth. It shows you everything. And most importantly, it's a free app. So you don't have to go in and pay a bunch of money just so they can tell you how to use your money. Rocket Money is a free app. So you can cancel unwanted subscriptions, which is huge because anybody who's ever signed up for something online knows you're going to forget about it. It's like a gym membership that lives on your computer.
Listen, I think we all know I have a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what were you saying?
Oh, you just wanted to talk about that.
Oh,
So
yeah. I'm sorry. You talking about something else? Go ahead.
So Rocket Money reminds you how much money you have and how much money you spend on your 17 children. So go to rocketmoney.com/rough. They will cancel your unwanted subscriptions for you. Again, I love it. I use it every day. Go to rocketmoney.com/rough.
I got to do it. I got to sign up for it because I want to know the unwanted subscription. I got so many unwanted subscriptions.
It's scary.
I think I'm still subscribed to Quibi. Yeah, I don't know.
What's Quibi?
Quibi's like out of business.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Jack, get ready. Let's get the chat going. You guys, we're turning it over to you for the last 16 minutes of the show. Which SEC team will hire Gus Malzahn next season? None of them, because he's not an SEC caliber coach anymore. It's cute that he's doing so well at UCF, but if you couldn't succeed on the long term with the resources that Auburn gives you, I don't see where you're going to succeed in the SEC.
I don't know, though. SEC teams have made weird moves, like Will Muschamp getting hired at South Carolina after he got fired at Florida. Like, I could see a team being like, well, he didn't work out at Auburn. We're not Auburn, but
we'll throw one out at you then. Let's say he's in the job pool. When Arkansas gets out from under the weight, literally, of that fat fuck Sam Pittman, which is coming very soon, by the way.
The Tide. Have you seen the Tide on their Twitter turned?
Oh, yeah.
It's gone from.
He's not a great coach. He had one lucky year. Like, he's not a very good coach. And now they're going to beat us. We're going to go 0-8 in the SEC because we're a fucking dumpster fire. But that doesn't matter. All right? I'm not even a big Mississippi State fan.
You're on one tonight. That's the thing, though. When you look at the difference between Auburn and Arkansas, like, I could see Arkansas being like, all right, he wasn't horrible at Auburn. He didn't fail miserably.
Yeah, he played for a national title.
Yeah, like he could maybe revive that program. I could see it happening. I don't think it will, but I don't think that it's crazy to think that and I put this in air quotes, lower level program.
He also has Arkansas ties.
Yep.
Could he wear the sweater vest in Arkansas, though? Does that play?
Oh, yeah. No, he got to start at Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas State, right?
But did he wear the sweater vest?
He coached. He was their offensive coordinator. He came from the high school ranks and was their offensive coordinator so they could get that shitty quarterback way back in the day. I don't remember his name. Mitch Mustaine? No, I'm the only one? Okay, I'm just lying. All right, we got to talk about Gundy. Brandon, what do you make of the mess in Stillwater? He lost 19 starters. His QB1 is on the bench at Ole Miss. Spencer Sanders, God bless him. Dumbest decision.
I know we've asked this. Why did he not go to Alabama? Why?
He probably didn't have an offer at Alabama. All right.
About that.
Mike Gundy is somebody we talked about the other day. I just think he and Oklahoma State probably need a change of venue, a change of address, a change of everything. They need a new coach. He probably needs a new place. It's been 20 years. Like, Gary Patterson eventually ran out of time there at TCU. Fitzgerald ran out of time there at Northwestern. Like, eventually, just move on and see what happens. That's what I say about.
He's so like young in comparison to so many coaches that it would be.
Not that young. I think I'm a man. I'm 40 was 16 years ago.
Yeah, but 56 as a coach is not old.
It ain't young.
I mean, no, it's not like, some of these younger guys that are in their early 30s, but he has a lot of coaching left if he wants to.
Well, I think he could do what Malzahn's doing and maybe go just a little step down. Can the Huskers win 9 games? Probably not in the next 2 fucking years. Yeah. No. Maybe next year when Rule, turns over the roster like Dion has.
I love this question. Nebraska went from 0-2, and all it took for their fans to talk about winning 9 games was a win against NIU. I love that. I mean, I love the confidence and delusion of college football fans. You guys rock.
Yeah, keep in mind, their ceiling of wins right now, if they won every game, would be 10, right? They also still play Michigan. So that's your ceiling. That's your ceiling of 9. That means you have to run the table against Iowa and Wisconsin and everybody. And after you couldn't beat after you couldn't stay on the field with Colorado and you couldn't beat Minnesota. So just think about that for a while. Would be interesting on Brandon's take on Washington State and Oregon State. Are they serious contenders for the Pac-12 title? I would say Oregon State is, and I don't think Washington State quite is. I think they're a terrific Listen, the Pac-12 is the most entertaining conference in football this year. It's not even close. Even this week, like you've got Oregon, Colorado. Below that, you got UCLA, Utah, and you have that's who's playing, right? Washington State's playing Oregon State this weekend. Am I right? Yeah. So there's Pac-12 is 8 deep with very interesting teams. I don't think Washington State can stay with USC and with Washington. I don't think they're that level, but I think they're a very solid tier 2 team. Does Miami have a shot? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Casey.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I know we got to rifle through these. I want to, if we talk about every single one, but
I'll let you answer this question. Andrew Zufelt, does Miami have a shot at winning the ACC?
I think they do. And maybe I'm just basing it completely on the one game against A&M, but if we're going to subscribe to the thought process that you have and other people have, that A&M is still a legitimate SEC West contender right now, then I do. I think that if Tyler Van Dyke, 2 years ago, we saw him play the way that he did. And that's why last year, everybody and their mom was high on them. And it just did not click last year. I think that they are. And especially if Florida State starts to show a little bit more vulnerability the way they did against BC. This weekend, the Florida State-Clemson game will tell us a whole lot more about where that conference is. But I think Miami is definitely there if Tyler Van Dyke can stay healthy.
And the spread being so small shows that Clemson, this is going to be a good game. Like Clemson is back from the Duke loss. Is it like what it seems like? Clemson's not dead yet.
Well, I doubt Vegas ever bailed on Clemson the way us reactionary idiots did.
Well, I think that line makes complete and perfect sense.
Yes.
If anything, we know this about how lines are priced and the market reacts. If anything, the market underreacts. So unless it's Colorado, which is like one of one.
You gotta let me talk about this one here. Gabe Hernandez. Top 4 right now is Florida State, Michigan, Penn State, and Georgia in no particular order, right? Notre Dame and Washington on the outside looking in. I'm sorry. We're just going to leave out the team that went on the road and beat number 3 at their place. I know what Alabama looked like against South Florida. Texas has the best win of the season, period.
Yeah.
Texas has the best win of the season so far.
You have to put Texas in.
If you're doing a top 4, Texas has to be in right now. That's just so cold fact.
And depending on how you do your top 10 every week and how you do your top 4, there's a legitimate argument that Texas could be number 1. I don't have them number 1. I have Georgia number 1, but I wouldn't like poo-poo an argument that Texas would be somebody's number 1 team in the country.
Texas right now, Texas can afford a loss, at least in my opinion. Now I wouldn't say they should do it, but I would assume a loss would still allow them to make the Big 12 title. And then if they win the Big 12 title, at 12-1, I would assume they would be in. I know we could play the whole game and whatnot and be like, oh, what if this happens, that happens? But 12-1 with a win over Alabama on the road and then probably Oklahoma once or twice is huge.
For some idiot said Texas barely beat Wyoming. First of all, no, they didn't. They sleptwalked through 3 quarters and then blew them out in the 4th quarter. Secondly, Florida State just beat Boston College by 2. Like these teams are going to have letdowns every now and then. Katie, you were going to talk.
What happens if Alabama continues to pull USF games? Like they win. Yes.
I think that would ding Texas a little bit.
Yeah. If they lose or win by very close margins, I feel like the Texas win is going to be diminished.
But in the process of that, Texas, assuming that they're as good, will start beating everybody in the Big 12 too. So like the Alabama loss will look maybe a little bit less impressive if Alabama's not as good. But if they go, think about like what TCU did last year by just winning every game in the Big 12. And they were in it at the end of the year. I think Texas is going to do that.
Alabama also has a top 15 team this week. So even if they won by 3, it would.
Yeah, it's still a win. It's just not dominating.
Definitely, there's definitely going to be some. There was that conversation on Saturday. There was already people being like, "Well, look how bad Alabama looks. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be." So was that Texas win that impressive? Yes, that win was that impressive.
Jordovsky says, "Why is everybody sleeping on Oregon in the Pac-12?" Literally nobody's sleeping on Oregon.
In my top 10.
I would say they kind of are.
I do think people are putting USC ahead of them because they have the Heisman Trophy winner. I think Washington also is being put ahead of them. But these 2 teams both finished ahead of them last year. Like Oregon went 9-3 and they lost to Oregon State. Washington went 11-2. USC went 11-2. Like it's not like give me the reason to put Oregon above Washington and USC in these conversations, and I'll do it. But I don't see a reason to do that.
The Pac-12 is loaded this year, and if you wanted to go to each campus to go and potentially maybe a
Here's
little
what
bit
you
of a
would
road
need.
trip,
Here's what you would need.
a little bit of a road trip, what would you do?
If you're going to go on a road trip in college football, you need a car. And if you need a car, you need to depend on somebody for 25 years has given people the resources and the wherewithal and everything they need, the information to find their next possibility. It's cars.com. Cars.com, up to 50,000 cars uploaded daily. So if you look for cars today on cars.com, guess what? Look again tomorrow because they got 50,000 new cars. And then you're not going to run out of cars to look at because they got up to 2 million at all times on cars.com. This is the number one place on the internet to find your next car. And when it comes to finding a car, you know, you buy a house or you buy a tent or you buy something else. Okay, you have those things. But if you buy a car, it becomes part of who you are.
It's part of your personality. I know I bring this up every time we talk about cars.com, but you know, I have a family now and my boyfriend and I are going to have to make the decision on what kind of parents we're going to be with what kind of car we're going to drive because we are eventually going to move to the suburbs. Cars.com is going to help us. Are we minivan people? No, but maybe one day. I got a resounding no in the living room, by the way. Absolutely not. But cars.com can help us.
Find your next
boyfriend or your grown son.
My grown son is out at the bar right now, actually.
Okay. Find your next possibility on cars.com. Where to next? Okay. Give me another one. As a UGA fan, should I be more discouraged by the first half against South Carolina or encouraged by the way they finished? Well, Dustin Klein, stop being a fucking pussy, okay? Halftime scores
don't yell at him.
Huh?
Don't yell at Dustin.
No, I'm going to. First of all, miss me with Georgia fans being like, well, how should I feel about my team, mister? How should I feel? You want 2 national titles. Fucking act like it, okay? You guys are on top of the sport. Fucking act like it. But as a Georgia fan, you were down 14-3. And I know you haven't been behind in a long time, but you came out and beat the fuck out of them in the second half. That's what you should be focused on. There are 4 quarters in the game, and the only ones that matter are really the third and the fourth. You fucking killed them. Don't do that Georgia crap. Hey, pay attention to us, please, mister. Shut the fuck up.
Well, my question for like Dustin Klein or for any Georgia fan, like, how were you discouraged last year against Kent State? Were you discouraged last year against Missouri? Maybe, but look how the season ended up. So it's like, take that into consideration. Like at some point last year, you probably like, oh, are we as good? You were just as good as you were the year before, if not better. You'll be fine.
Are these people paying for these things?
Yeah, the best way, guys, to have your question read is to do a super chat.
Who's getting this money?
That's I was asked though. Where does this money go?
It goes to our bottom line to show the value to the company.
It goes to Casey's pants fund. Actually, no pants fund.
Yeah, don't say that because nobody will give it.
Pants fund.
Brady Miller, thank you very, very much for the kind words. Jack, take this money for the Cooper Flag NIL deal when he visits this weekend. Cooper Flag will be in attendance, according to sources, at the UConn Duke football game this weekend.
I don't care what they pay, Jack. They can't talk college basketball on here.
Well, no, I'm relating it to college football.
Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, UConn, all undefeated so far.
You mean defeated? UConn's defeated.
She meant
never mind. The rest of the real
North Carolina.
Whatever that.
Anyways, thank you, Brady. I just wanted to say thank you for the money. If you want to be like Brady and have your question read right away before others, send it super chat. Just like Anton, week 3 and week 4 is way too early for Heisman ranking.
You paid $2 to pay that to say that stupid shit.
Stop! Don't discredit our fans.
Don't yell at people, Brandon.
Of course, it's too early. It's too early to talk about any of this. But what fun would it be if we didn't talk about it?
No,
I would be very curious to see how, like, if you go back, X amount of years on the Heisman race, and like when the person who won, how early in the season they were the favorite. Like,
I can tell you a couple of years because Bryce Young wasn't really the heavy favorite until he had that game against Auburn.
I mean, Kyler Murray didn't win his Heisman until the last 2 weeks.
He stole it on championship weekend.
Like Tim Tebow.
Tebow was late too, I think. Although his was very close. Tim Tebow won it in a year where there wasn't really. He won in that crazy 2007 year.
Lamar Jackson was probably pretty early.
He won in that Florida State game.
Brent Venables will be the best coach in the SEC within 3 years. In what fucking sport? See, y'all want me to not yell at these people and they're saying stupid.
You can yell at him. He didn't pay.
Saban exists. Kirby Smart exists. And you guys think he's going to because you beat Tulsa?
No, you can yell at people that don't pay.
This idiot Brent Reynolds goes to Oklahoma, wins 6 games in his first year. He beats Tulsa by 60, and all of a sudden he's good. Okay. Who has a bigger victim complex, OSU fan base or Michigan? Taylor, definitely Michigan. Michigan can't handle the fact that I say they have a top 15 quarterback in the country. They whine and they bitch and you don't like us. No, you just don't have a top 15 quarterback. Sorry.
But Brandon, you also don't like Michigan.
I don't dislike Michigan anymore than I dislike anybody else. Don't be a fangirl. Don't do that.
You've said you don't like Michigan.
I don't like anybody.
Okay, that's fair.
Was
That's
9.5 actually disrespectful of Mississippi State? Well, it really was. It was a disrespectful line, and then we went out and disrespected ourselves. Why is Ohio State the only team that gets crucified for winning by 20 plus? Oh, Jack, you know what? Quit.
He paid $5.
Hold on.
This guy hates us. I think
Kyler Williams. You just paid $4.99 to menstruate all over this fucking place. All right, quit whining about fucking. Oh, why is everybody so mean to Ohio State? We won by 20. Shut the fuck up, okay? You're one of the best programs in the country. Act like it.
I feel like he's a part of the Ohio State fan base that, like, if you say you thought Ohio State was going to cover by 50 and they only covered by like 30 and you're mad about it, they're like, you hate Ohio State. You think we stink. It's like, well, no, I just thought you were going to win the game by more points.
We hold Ohio State to a higher standard. Like, mediocrity is not it.
Cole Cathy says, does odd year Auburn take Bama or Georgia this year? Short answer, no. Long answer, no.
I will say quickly
I think they might.
to Kyler.
You hold time out. You
I think they could beat
Alabama or Georgia?
Bama. I think they could beat Alabama.
Go, Jack.
I do want to say it. Ohio State didn't get enough credit for putting up the numbers they did this past weekend on Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky's not a bad team.
And I know we gave them credit, but I'm just saying in general, not this podcast, just people in general. I thought they did what they had to do. And I mean, here's the thing: we're gonna find out about Ohio State this weekend. So like,
what I said on Saturday night, which I'll stand by, is that we kept saying, well, Ohio State prove it, and they did. They went and proved it. So like, I mean, we gave them credit on the Saturday night episode.
Shout out Brian Powell, great job, guys. Must listen for each episode.
By the way, Brandon, I know that Katie and Jack saw it. Did you see that we still have people doing unnecessary roughness meetups? Like it was like their third annual trip. They go to games every year and they have never met each other. They just started hanging out because they all listen to us.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
yeah,
really
those guys
cool.
were awesome.
They went to the swamp.
They went to the swamp.
Okay, all right.
Even if
Is
it was
FSU
NC
Miami going to be played twice this season? No. Okay. Huh?
One's an NC State fan.
What? Hartman for Heisman? If Hartman, Lane Kiffin to Michigan State, no. As much as I would like that, no. I don't think you leave Ole Miss to go to Michigan State. That's a lateral move at best. Where are we at? Hartman for Heisman? If he goes for 303 touchdowns this weekend and they beat Ohio State, he's the front runner for the Heisman for the moment.
Some guy paid $4.99 for you to yell at him. People make good money on OnlyFans for that shit.
Kelly Higgs.
To get yelled at?
Yes.
Pay pig.
Our grandfathers fought in wars. We're paying $3 for a woman to yell at us.
Don't get me going on that because I would dive deep into where that starts, and it's probably the classroom.
Oh,
I think that's a good place to go ahead and end it.
Jonathan Smith to Michigan State. I think that would be a great hire for Michigan State. And by the way, I want to make an announcement.
Uh-oh.
I have already forgiven the Michigan State fan base for all the awful things that they've said to me. As a God-fearing man, I will always forgive and not forget. But I just want to say quickly, my hate of Michigan State is over. And today, with the firing of Mel Tucker, it is over. 70 IQ Sparty's over. We had a great run, and I just wanted to say thank you for the memories and whatnot. You guys, it was a great run. We had a great rivalry for a few years there. I win, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Who's your next one?
Congratulations.
Who's number one in the hate list right now? TBD.
Probably Rutgers.
All right. So I just want to point out that is a big move by Jack. It takes a big man to go ahead and call something over. Listen, he could hold a grudge forever for the way you guys treated him, but he's not. He's letting bygones be bygones, and he's saying that. And Jack is a big man. Just as an aside, I would like to say that I still hate Iowa, Florida, Tennessee, Michigan, Oklahoma,
Auburn.
Kansas State. I'm sorry.
Arkansas.
Auburn, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Clemson, both Virginia schools, West Virginia, Syracuse, Iowa, Rutgers, Kansas State, Oregon,
USC,
State, USC, Washington, Iowa,
Colorado,
Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan State, and Iowa.
I think you forgot Iowa.
Iowa as well. All right. I think
Read
that's a good place to end right now.
read-
Yes, Jack?
Read Ryan's last comment.
Ryan's last, he gave us $9.99.
Keep up the great work. Also, Brandon, congrats on Mostly Sports. Who's the favorite to win the Big Ten West at this point of the season? I would say the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
I think it's Wisconsin.
Wisconsin still, I think, will be fine. Wazoo's not bad. It was a tough road trip out
Yeah.
west. The Big Ten West is interesting. But Iowa, yeah, I mean. Also, have you seen that Michigan fans are starting to hate Cade McNamara? Are they scheduled to play this year?
I don't think so. And here's, you said something there. You said the Big Ten West is interesting. I'd argue might not be interesting at all. Nebraska's a couple years away. Wisconsin feels like they're starting to trend to where they might be a year or two away. Purdue is obviously a couple years away. Minnesota isn't looking great. Iowa's probably the class of that division. They certainly don't look great. So, I would argue that the Big Ten West is pretty trash.
But they still have to send somebody to Indy, so maybe it's interesting to see who the trashiest one to send is.
Yes. All right. Let's end it right here. Thank you for showing up every Monday night, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30. We also now, I think we haven't discussed that. I think we're going to do live Saturday nights every Saturday, but we'll figure that out.
We never you discussed that in your head.
I just said we haven't discussed it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's literally what I said. We haven't discussed this.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Well, but we'll have an episode on Wednesday to preview.
Okay.
Like the stream. We love you guys. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Casey puts the pants on.